Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Hopefully just a quick video, we'll see what happens. My YouTube has been inundated with videos of 9/11. Yeah, and all that stuff again. So I watched a few of them, and again, it's shocking. The amount of people that are repeating lies. And people that should know a damn sight better. There was one where basically Channel 4 did an investigation about how the buildings collapsed, and of course it was a BS investigation because they couldn't go against what the American administration was saying. They had to basically stay in that area of what they were saying, so therefore they made a lot of stuff up. And the person who actually designed the buildings was saying they never thought that planes could hit the buildings. But that was a lie. They did plan for the possibility with the buildings that you can have two airplanes of the day of 1970, 71 sort of time, flying into one building, and that building would still stand. Yeah, when they were describing it at the time, because when the buildings were going up, they were describing the building, and they were describing it being like a mosquito net. Yeah, you can have a plane go in, and of course there would be a hole, but it would only affect that area. It wouldn't affect all the other areas. And in, I think it was in '93, there was an attack there. Previously there'd been fires in the building, and yeah, over multiple floors. Fires that have gone on for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and a lot longer than they did at the Twin Towers, and there was no collapse. There was no issues like that at all. And then there was another bloke who had, you know, well done for him, and God certainly worked in his life. But he was one of the people that survived being in the tower when the tower actually fell. If falling would be the right word for it. Whatever happened to the tower, whatever caused it to fall, that happened. But he was in there. He was on the 20th floor as it was coming down, and suddenly he just basically crouched in a corner, put his head basically between his lap, and got as small as he could. And when he came to, he was sort of, there was light, and he was sitting on a tiny ledge that was a lot smaller than the seat bit of a chair. And he was still sitting there, which was quite remarkable. Had he leapt forward, he would have been into a massive hole of fire. But yeah. But he basically said that he saw the building come down in a pancake effect. Not possible. Just not possible. Yeah, for the buildings to come down as quickly as they did, which they did. Just have to look at the evidence. They did. Yeah, pancake effect is an impossibility. It just isn't possible at all. Yeah, because pancake effect means floors fall down onto a floor which can't take the weight, so that floor falls down onto the next floor with all that weight, and that floor falls down after a second or, yeah, because too much weight, and then that happens again, right, with each floor. Both buildings fell down at virtual free fall speed, which means there was no resistance. Which means the floors had been removed. As the building was coming down, the next floor was removed, then removed, then removed, then removed, then removed, then removed, then removed. So there was no resistance at all. That's not a pancake. Because the floors would have to be removed for there to be no distance. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Now, how that happened? Well, there's really only one way that I know of, but there might be ways that other people know. So I'm not going to try and judge that necessarily. But no, put it this way. With that event, there was lie upon 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 lie. And there was administration that was saying, if you don't agree with everything we're saying, then you are a supporter of terrorism. And you had the media just going along with whatever the administration was saying. Nobody was questioning anything at all. And when there was any stories coming out that would question, those stories were buried in mid-stories or in the middle of the newspaper. So therefore nobody really took notice of them. So even now, the story is still the same as it was then, which was decided by the administration of George W. Bush. And they lied upon lied upon lied upon lied upon lied. And even though people now know that their lies are lies, nobody will bring it up because, again, it's already been said that if you question them, then you are a supporter of Osama bin Laden, who probably had nothing to do with anything at all. It's quite possible, put it this way, it's far more likely that what happened with 9/11 compared to what they said. If you take what they said, another possibility is that the American administration hired Pakistan, or Al-Qaeda, basically the same thing, hired Pakistan intelligence, Al-Qaeda, to make it look as if there were terrorists hijacking planes. And then they flew planes probably by remote. Well, because, again, there are pilots who have actually said, some of the manoeuvres that the planes were coming out, especially the Pentagon, if that was a plane, that was an impossible manoeuvre. And even other ones, I think even they phoned up about the Twin Towers ones and saying planes flying at that low height, could they fly at maximum speed? And the answer was no, they can't. And the administration is saying that they flew at maximum speed. But look, a plane flown by remote could probably fly at a more difficult way than a human could because of human error. If you do it by computer and by remote, then you take human error completely out of it. And therefore you could probably do a lot of the stuff that they're claiming was done. Well, like they're saying that passports of the hijackers were found in the wreckage. None of the plane was found. But they found a near perfect passport. As I say, with the Twin Towers, they say that a passport basically flew out the plane window just before the plane hit the towers and floated down, but it took so long to float down, it didn't hit the ground until after the towers fell. And it had a slight bit of fire damage. I mean, if you think that's likely, yeah. So exactly what the truth is, we don't know. We certainly know that what they claim to be true isn't. And now, is it possible that the American administration attacked their own people so that they could have a war on terror? Yeah. It's possible. And it's such a horrific idea that people wouldn't believe it. They'd believe anything else, which they have. You take care. Bye-bye.